You are clear for launch. And with that, shut down your visors, O2 on, and prepare for ignition, 202. Copy that, and initiating a full 10-4-4.
Gracious God, creator of the universe, and yet the lover of my soul. Alpha and Omega, and yet I can call you friend. I don't have to beg you for anything, but I can thank you for everything. God, I thank you because this is the day that you have made, and I can rejoice and be glad in it. Thank you for this day of magnificence and glory and splendor. God, I thank you for life, health, and for strength. I thank you for soundness of mind. I thank you for peace, love, and joy. I thank you for the essence of you that envelops me right now, from the crown of my head to the soles of my feet. We thank you for this day of manifestation. We thank you for the day of revelation. We thank you for the day of impartation. We thank you as you move in the midst of your people to bring us to the greatest times that we've ever seen since the foundation of the world. Thank you, Lord, that for this time and for this season, you've allowed us to be a part of your move in the face of the earth. I thank you, God, for the revolution that you're bringing forth, God, even in the midst of the earth right now. And I thank you for the opportunity to be a part of what you're doing in this hour, because in the last days, saith God, you said you would pour out your spirit on all flesh. And so now we thank you for the pouring out. God, I thank you for the rain and the move of your spirit. I thank you for fresh oil. I thank you for new wine. I thank you for the new thing that you're doing. I thank you now that it does spring forth. I thank you, Lord, that you've called us to be the head and not the tail. You've called us to be above only and not beneath. You've called us to be the lender and not the borrower. You've called, God, that our storehouses would be full and increase. God, I thank you because even I decree and declare that the people under the sound of my voice, even now, are moving in the might of your strength, not by might nor by power, but by your spirit. I thank you for those that are the sons and daughters of God that are called because they walk not after the flesh, but after your spirit. I thank you for the rising up of the people of your kingdom. I thank you that your kingdom come. I thank you that your will be done, even now in earth as it is in heaven. I thank you, Lord, because you are moving in the midst of your people mightily as never before. Raise us up, oh God, to the standard of what you've called us to be. God, I thank you for the standard of greatness. I thank you for the standard of holiness. I thank you for the standard of moving as the sons and daughters of yours, and not as vagabonds, not as those that never knew you, not as those that are confused and confounded, but God, those that know who they are in you. I thank you for the knowing. I thank you, God, for knowing you. I thank you for knowing your presence. Thank you for knowing your Holy Ghost power that gives us the ability to be successful. Your anointing that gives us the power to rise up and be called blessed. Thank you for that is in us. Thank you, God, for all things that pertain to life and godliness. Thank you because we are not confused. We are not deceived. And we thank you for that clarity of mind and the clarity of vision that allows us to walk forth as kings and queens, as princes and princesses in the kingdom that walk in the earth. We thank you that we are your beloved and we rise up as the apple of your eye. We rise up, oh God, as those that you love with all of your heart. And God, we love you back. I thank you for soundness of mind. I thank you for soundness of spirit. I thank you that healing is our bread. Healing is our deliverance. By the stripes of Jesus, we're already healed. And we speak forth that healing even now for those that need it. Thank you, God, for every stripe that was taken. Thank you for the bruising. Thank you that he was wounded for our transgressions, bruised for our iniquities. The chastisement of our peace was upon him. God, with those same stripes we declare and we speak healing in Jesus' name. We give you glory. We give you peace. We give you honor. We give you blessing. We give you might. We ascribe all of these things unto you because they are yours. Thank you. The fruit of my lips giving thanks unto your name. Ever giving you all that is yours. Glory, honor, power, dominion, majesty. It's yours. I decree it and I speak it. In the mighty name of Jesus, it is so. Amen and amen.
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. I want to welcome you to today's edition of Yes You O Cubed, one-on-one, just me and you. I am your spiritual thought leader, Regina L. Stillman, and I'm so glad that you joined me on this fine day, you all. Yes, today is Thursday. Let me get it right. Thursday, July the 7th in the year 2022. And it's just awesome. It's just great. It's just marvelous to be here with every last one of you on this fine day. Now, you know how we do. We like to get it started. And I don't know about you all, but here in Kansas City, Missouri, it's raining, it's pouring, the old man is snoring, and it finally cooled off some of this heat. Lord Jesus, thank you for the rain. Thank you for the rain. I think about that and just relating that to life. So many times y'all don't want the rain. Can you stand the rain? At the end of the day, I'm so happy for the rain. And just like your life, sometimes y'all need a little rain to cool some stuff off and give you a minute to just breathe and just step back and enjoy the refreshment that the rain can bring. How about that on this morning? Loving the rain this morning, and I appreciate every drop. I absolutely positively do. I appreciate every drop after we've been near about 100 for I don't know how many of the last couple of days, child. I needed the rain, and I don't know about you, but I'm happy for the rain this morning. Now, let's get this party crack-a-lack and get this party started. You know how we normally do. Those that come in bright and early in the morning and like to come in and just share love and give the peace, love, joy, and happiness enough for the whole room to be blessed. Listen, they came in this morning. I got 5 beautiful people that came in the VIP section. I want to give it up for Sassy Cassie. Yes, Sassy Cassie came on in there this morning, and she was number 5, giving love and waking up all the lines and say, okay, y'all, let's go. Then I want to appreciate Truck Driver. Yes, that's my guy. Truck Driver came in this morning and was number 4 in the room, and I appreciate him. Listen, I'm gonna put that handsome brother right there. I appreciate him, and I'm gonna give him some love once more and again. He came in this morning greeting everybody and then got right back on the road and went back to driving. Be safe out there on them there streets. Thank you for coming in the VIP section so early this morning, and I love you, sir. Now, the third person in the Lion's Den and gets to get on that love seat this morning is none other than Miss Fabulous. Yes, Miss Fabulous, otherwise known as Mel Holiday. Come on in here, sis. Go ahead and get on that love seat and rest yourself. And I'm always happy that you are reporting for duty. Now, at the end of the day, number 2 coming in was none other than Chick. Yes, Kai Chick came on in here, y'all. She was in here at the crack of day. Yes, she was. Not the breaking of dawn, but at the crack of day. Congratulations, Kai Chick. Just go ahead and sit on over there on that love seat with Miss Fantabulous. Go on over there and sit down with my sis, Miss Fabulous, and she will bless your whole life this morning. Don't let her get you up on that pole. Now, the winner of Grandpa Holmes's chair is none other than Shelly Thunder. Shelly Thunder, you are the winner of Grandpa Holmes's chair. Come on and get your lips, your hips, and your fingertips. Go ahead and sit down, sis. Choose your seat and sit down, Shelly. Come on, that's the prophetess, y'all. That's the prophetess. That's the prophetess. She's up in here, y'all. She's up in here. Congratulations to you. You are the winner of Grandpa Holmes's chair. Now, I appreciate you all, every last one of you beautiful people that came on in here. And they always make sure there's plenty of love, peace, joy, and happiness in the Lion's Den for you all when you get here in the morning. And while I'm there, let me just go ahead and appreciate, you know how we do it over here. We love our moderators in the Lion's Den. They are so powerful. Up above my head, I hear thunder in the air. Yes, Shelly Thunder is one of our moderators. Go ahead and get that mod love going. Get that mod love going, because they are awesome, beautiful women up in here. Led by the leader of the pack, Rashida Renee, the Rebel Inc. Yes, she's right there ready every time we turn this stream on. The Galactic Supervisor is in the house supervising. I appreciate you. And again, if you're not following her, I want you to go on out there and follow her. She will bless your whole entire life. And then last but certainly not least, in this angelic trio, the last of the Blessed Trinity, Michelle Brown. Oh, yes, that is my quiet storm right there, who changes the atmosphere just by being in it. Those are our 3 beautiful, awesome, fantabulous moderators in the Lion's Den. There's nobody like them. No, there's nobody like them anywhere. And I appreciate them for all that they do here. We love you. We love you. We love you. Now, come on, come on. You know how we do it. Get your coffee cups out. Get your coffee cups out. Get your coffee cups out. Because I just want to come around and speak to everybody. I just want to tell tell everybody good morning to you. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Dr. Dady Priest was the first one in my chat this morning. The high priestess is here to let you know that engagement matters. Good morning to you, sis. And she is the streamer extraordinaire. If you're not following Dr. Dady Priest, quit your wicked ways. Quit your wicked ways. Come on out there. I need you to go on out there and follow her, as DJ LV says. Not now, but right now. I need you to do it right now, because engagement matters, y'all. Yes, it does. Thank you for being in the room this morning. Stacy 546, I see you. Come on in here, sis. So much love coming to you. I'm looking and I'm booking and I'm coming on down. And of course, none other than the Rebel Inc. Yes, the Galactic Supervisor is in the room. Good morning to you. Come on in here. Jonna CPW. Yes, she is one of my friends that chats with me every Sunday night at 6 o'clock p.m. Listen, you can always tell when those cheerings are out of school because Jonna CPW shows up in the room. And tomorrow, I'm going to just let you in on a little secret. Tomorrow is her birthday. So you know we gonna turn up for Jonna. That's my girl. So much love to you. Good morning. This is your last day being whatever age you are right now. And there you have it. I'm coming and I'm looking and I'm checking out the gift. Nathan Lamont is in the room, and I love you, sweetheart. All I need is one good squall. Truck driver 57, as you get back on that road and continue back to driving. Listen, nothing but love coming to you, Mufasa. That is the Lion King in the Lion's Den. I appreciate you, my brother. So much love to you coming on this fine day. Coming on down, and Rashida Renee is constantly helping my friends in Facebook know one day we won't be there. Go ahead and transition on over to YouTube so you make sure you don't miss a beat. I appreciate you, Rashida Renee, and good morning to you. Looking at Not Your Average Guy. Come on in here. So much love to you from the Lion's Den this morning. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us here. I love it, and I love you. Just being in the Lion's Den. So much love coming to you, my brother. BTD Mom, come on in here, sis. Good morning to you. I know that you're prospering and prosper. So glad to see you, and thank you for coming in the Lion's Den. You didn't have to do it, but you did. Thank you so much. Coming on down and see who came in the basement while I was upstairs. Cassandra Isaiah, you're in the room, and I see your coffee cups. Come on, Classy Sassy. Come on in here, Cassandra, and let's do some chit chat this morning. Nothing but love to you. Now, I think I got everybody that's in my Lion's Den chit chat this morning. There she comes. She slid in. SK8843. She slid up in here. Good morning to you, sis. And I know you're roaring. I love you and I appreciate you, and so glad that you are here. Now, that looks like everybody that's in my chat. And for those of you that are not in my chat, but you are just here listening and auditing, I want to thank you for coming in this morning, and I appreciate you just for being here. So much love to you. So much love to you. So much love to you. Now, let's go ahead and get this party crack-a-lacking, and let's get this party started. Y'all know how we do it in here. We always talk about what had happened was. Well, what had happened was while we slumbered, slept, and slobbered, what had happened was, well, let's see. Let's get over here and take a look at the different things that we're going to talk about this morning. And let's go ahead and have a nice chit-chat. Now, one of the things that I recognize, oh my goodness, is this little nugget right here. They are saying that President Biden, it was reported to me, President Biden is now finding himself between a rock and a hard place because, yes, while we slumbered, slept, and slobbered, you're not your average guy. We find that Putin is using the U.S. prisoners as bargaining chips. And so, you know, as the story that we're looking at this morning, it was reported coming out that President Biden has now found himself between a rock and a hard place, and that Putin is actually turning up the vice grips because in actuality, we've got both our basketball sister over there, WNBA star Brittany Griner, and ex-U.S. Marine Paul Whelan, both of them who have been taken prisoner over in Russia, are now being utilized as pawns. The families have started really amping up their anger and their frustration and their concern about their loved ones, as they rightfully should. I find it very unfortunate, in my opinion, that they have utilized a young black female athlete to use as one of their pawns in this dastardly, because I feel like this is just dastardly. I feel, you know, and I kept saying some time ago, it just seemed like there was not enough action. There was not enough attention. It was like, okay, she's been taken for very suspicious charges. And this woman is tentatively facing what sounds like what they would like to turn into a life sentence for some alleged what did she have, some CBD oil or whatever in her vaporizer. I'm still like something in the whole story just seems just very suspicious, but at this point what's being reported in the news is that they are attempting to utilize the release or the return of these individuals who have now been made prisoners, both Brittany Griner as well as an ex-U.S. Marine Paul Whelan, as bargaining chips. You know, I just don't know what to say. These are human beings that were, as far as I know, minding their own business, living life, and in the instance of Brittany trying to come home, and now they've been turned into bargaining chips. I just, you know, at the end of the day, could it be the devil? Baby, it ain't nothing but that old slimy devil. It ain't nothing but that old slimy devil. So as we look at that, come on, Dr. Dady. What's even more crazy is she had told her wife that she was getting ready to quit playing overseas. Then these charges appeared. She's been traveling like that. So yes, she has been going. Now, and you know what? And I'm going to come here for a hot second. She had been going over and playing in Russia for some time because the United States will not pay WNBA athletes accordingly. Now, you look at what we pay the NBA players, the men. Look at what we pay the NBA players, and they have more than enough to survive and live off of. But then we have our WNBA players who are going over and playing in other countries to be able to make enough money. So at the end of the day, you know, I look at it and we can feel all kinds of ways about that. We can say, well, she can be happy with what she's getting paid. I just wanted to stop right there for station identification and identify the disparity that we still have between women's sports and men's sports, not acknowledging that a lot of times, come on here. Now, I promise you, Venus and Serena have changed the face of women's tennis henceforth now, even forevermore. Those two ladies, all you got to do, even listen, they're getting a little older. They're getting a little long in tooth. But I still promise you, if they show up on that court, people will come. And I think this is something that we absolutely positively have to address. And I want to give kudos to Billie Jean King while I'm here, because you know I believe in that. Billie Jean King really devoted the entirety of her life and her life's work to pointing to the disparity for professional female athletes, not only in tennis, but across the board. So I just want to take that opportunity to jump on my soapbox and just make that little comment as well. Lovey54, good morning to you. More love is in the room. Come on in here and welcome to the Lion's Den. So Dr. Dady, as you say, she's been traveling like that for some years because of the disparity in pay between the NBA and the WNBA players, between the men and the women. And I think we have to continue to push. And in my opinion, we have to continue to push. And I'm going to say it once more and again, when you have players like Venus and Serena Williams and others, they're not the only ones who have come out. I mean, Martina Navratilova, you just got to give her props. You got it. Billie Jean King in her own rights. Chrissy Everett Lloyd. I mean, we can go on and on and on. But at the end of the day, there is this issue of poor and inequity in pay between women and men, and it just needs to stop. You know, whether it's in the whatever area of corporate arena or whatever, we still have this disparity that's going on between the sexes. And you cannot deny that these females are out here doing their thing and making us love sports. They make us love the sport in which they participate. We show up, we bring our dollars, we do all of that, but they don't see fair compensation for that. We need to keep putting that before the people's minds. Now, I hear you, not your average guy. Sadly, the pay is dependent on supply and demand. Unfortunately, demand for the WNBA just isn't high enough to support equivalent salaries for the WNBA players at this point. Well, I know that I hear you. I hear you, but I don't know about that. I don't know about that. And you may be absolutely right. I'm going to go back to Venus and Serena and what they did in their sport. And they still, even though their pay has increased, they're not paid equitably. And I'm going to use that just a little slice right there to say, I don't know that that is the issue in all cases, because at the end of the day, these ladies, I feel, have brought in more spectators and more money than the men's sports have. Why is their pay not actually equal to? So it has to be something more than supply and demand that's going on in this disparity of pay. So I just don't know that that's not necessarily the instance. I just don't know it. So yes, it's crazy, Dr. Dady Priest, that she had gotten to the end where she said, I'm not coming back. And then all of a sudden she gets confiscated and held as a hostage, more or less, at this point. Diablo's being his usual self, and he's dastardly, Cassandra. So at the end of the day, I know that is the talking point that is often used, not your average guy, but I do know that these female sports bring people and they bring money. So I don't know. Billie Jean helped open the tennis door for many others, Cassandra. She really did. And she fought a good fight and is still fighting for equity in pay. I just have to give it up to her, and I'm just going to applaud her one more time. She single-handedly, for some time, was the only one out there voicing that this disparity in pay across sports, period, where it concerns women, must stop. And I'm going to say, even I'll look at it this way, not your average guy. You agree that certainly there could be more. Good morning, Monica L. Smith. There's my baby, and nobody sits baby in the corner. This is what I'm going to say, not your average guy, and I not arguing at all, but just continuing this concept of inequity in pay between men and women. So let's take it out of the sporting arena and let's take it into the corporate arena. We have many women who outshine and outperform, not in a competitive way, but they just do. Outshine and outperform many of their male counterparts, and they still do not get paid equitably. Those male counterparts, they can be inept, they can be less than stellar, they can be half you know what? They can be half, you know what? And they still come off with higher pay. So I think to get to the heart of the matter, getting deep down in that shondo, I think that at the end of the day, the issue is still gender, and it's not about supply and demand, even though that's a very convenient argument. But at the end of the day, these women get out here and outperform and outshine many of their male counterparts, and really not even to be racist, but let's just even take it that there are a lot of times that black people way outperform their white management and white superiors, and they still do not get the pay. So I think that there is this discrepancy that exists, not just as a matter of supply and demand. I think this discrepancy exists because of isms. So, I hear that talking point, but I just want to challenge it. I just have to challenge it because we see it play out in so many other areas that have nothing to do with that. We see it work out that we overperform. I mean, overperform. And again, not trying to be competitive, but just doing what it is we're called and the work that we do. And we are still not compensated as females, as black people, as black females. We still do not hit that same bar. So I feel like there is something in this country that wants to give us an explanation why, but that explanation why many times does not hit the core of the issue. The core of the issue, isms, sexism, racism, all the other isms that go along with that. We've got to come to Jesus and acknowledge, Houston, there is a problem, and no more excuses. But this is really at the root core of the differences, because at the end of the day, everybody is bringing something to the table, some more than others. But you can't, how do you justify those that are bringing less but getting paid more? And that, my brother, is the issue that I have. And that is the issue I see very frequently. And so it's not the explanation that they want to give us. Stacy, people are saying that about women's tennis until Billie started fighting for more pay. Come on. Exactly. And Stacy, without a doubt, Billie Jean King, Chris Everett Lloyd, some of those from the bygone days before we ever knew of a Venus and Serena, man, they were packing those stadiums out. They were bringing the spectators. The sport was being made known because of them. And at the end of the day, even though they were bringing in the people and the money, they were not seeing the proceeds and the fruits of their labors. That's just the truth. It's just the truth. So, yes, it's an obvious unjust discrepancy, not your average guy. And I want us to really, as a country, let's get, when we talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion, these are the types of areas and issues that we must continue to hammer on, and we must continue to expose for what it is, because the discrepancies are unjust and unfair. They just are. They're unjust and they're unfair. That you have to work in another country to work to make money, no, no, I can't. I just can't. And I know I'm telling the truth, Rebel. I know it's insecurity-ism, ineptism. And listen, I'm gonna give applause to Dr. Dady because she's telling the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help her God. You're telling the truth, Dr. Dady. That's exactly insecurity-ism and ineptism. And that creates the disparity that we continue to see. So not your average guy. Yours was only specific to the WNBA, but you agree that the discrepancy exists. I understand. I understood your point very much so. And like I said, I don't know the numbers on the WNBA exactly. I do try to support anything where people are marginalized, anything, excuse me, where people are made to feel less than. I'm always, listen, underdog. Y'all remember that? Some of y'all too young to remember that. Underdog. I love underdog. I love rooting for the underdog. I love it. I love it. I love it because more times than not, the underdog is the underdog, not because they deserve to be under, but they've been dogged out. So that's why I tend to always, if it's a valid point and a valid cause, I'm going to be rooting for underdog. And because I want to see him win. I just want to see him win. And so this is an issue all the way across the board. Excuse me. This is an issue all the way across the board that I feel like really needs to be addressed. And so, yes, I'm taking this moment, even though we're talking about Brittany in a totally different context, I do want to bring up the issue of pay disparity as a reason to why she was over there on her off season, which she has done for several years. And the disparity is so huge. The disparity is so huge that it's dastardly. It's just dastardly. That's all I can say. It's just dastardly. Oh, I meant dastardly, not the devil, but I'll take them both. It's just dastardly. So, I'm going to keep on crying loud. I'm going to keep on sparing not. So there you go. Mel Holiday is in the room, and good morning to you, sis. So much love coming to you. Stacy, how often do you hear about women's sports on the news unless it's a championship game? Hardly ever, but men's sports all the time. And a lot of it is the way it's packaged. It is the way that media presents it or not. And that difference in disparity of media coverage is also a factor as well. So at the end of the day, we were watching the championship, one of the finals, semi-final, quarterfinal. I don't remember what it was. My sister and I, and there was center court that had women on center court. And my sister can tell you, SK8843, I'm not making this up. There was a game on center court of women that was the highlight of Wimbledon for the day. And they kept cutting away to this men's game that really was not all that in a bag of chips. And it was like, listen, this is the women's opportunity on center court, and you keep cutting away to all of these other men's games. What are you doing? Center court should be the dominant game that's getting coverage at this point, and center court is packed full, but you keep going and cutting away to these men in other courts playing who do not have all the people, who do not have the packed out space. But you, and this is, come on, tell the truth, shame the devil. Tell the truth, shame the devil. This is part of the problem in the system. You, instead of giving them the time that they are due and entitled to as the center court, this is your time to shine, team players. You keep continuously cutting away to these lesser men's games and cutting these women down at the ankles, so at the knees. So this is how media also comes into play with how we see these behaviors and these attitudes towards women perpetuated. It's not because they didn't have every seat in center court filled. It wasn't because that place wasn't jam-packed to the gills, but the media felt it's okay for us to show all of these other men's games and cut away from center court just to give these men, patriarchy, misogyny, it's everywhere, and it shows and rears its ugly head in so many different ways. And it's almost like the subliminal messages we were talking about yesterday. You all know we were talking about when they took those young children to the firing range, and there they, in broad open daylight, felt like it was okay and it was comfortable to show these images of nothing but black men being shot at and used for target practice, and that subliminal messaging. automatically setting up this idea, this attitude, this sense of belief by seeing nothing but black men being shot at, getting the ones that they want to look like they just crazy and ready to come at you and bite your head off, and subliminal messaging. I feel like that same subliminal messaging is what they were doing when they had the women who had full participation, the women who had viewership off the charts, but they felt comfortable to keep cutting away their time to show all these other men's come on now, come on, so there you have this game that we keep playing, and this game that we keep feeding the people, and then we say, oh, well, no, there's so many pieces to that puzzle that we really need to talk about, because that's unfair. Give them their time. The same way you give the men their time, give them their time center court. So at the end of the day, show women the money, honey, all of it, before we ask for reparations for the inequitable nations. We will be in line with so many others for fairness, equity, justice, and money to come on down. I'm trying to tell you, Cassandra, because there is that unfortunate mindset that is very, very comfortable with the patriarchy and the sexism and the misogyny, very comfortable with that. And this is the thing, I tell y'all all the time, my job is to disrupt, because disruption brings change. My job is to disrupt, because disruption brings change. And so, hey, I'm gonna keep talking about it. I'm gonna keep pushing it up there, because come on, we gonna do it. You're so mature, you remember Underdog. Come on, Cassandra. I'm glad you remember Underdog. These youngins don't know what I'm talking about. But at the end of the day, I'm telling the truth, Rebel. You know I'm telling the truth, not your average guy. And folks, we didn't even know, Rebel. They kept cutting away. King Coogee, my brother, is in the house. If you're not following it, I love this man. I do. I tell you what, I've met nothing but beautiful people on Twitch, and King Coogee is one of them. If you're not following King Coogee, please go follow my brother. He will bless your whole entire life. I love that man right there. So yeah, they were showing people we didn't even know, Rebel. They were cutting away the people that we didn't even know, and their games in status and rank were not even at the level of what was being shown on center court. It was just good morning, Melvin Brown. Downtown Melvin Brown is in here, y'all. That's my brother, and I love you too. Come on in here. Come on in the Lion's Den and make yourself right at home. So at the end of the day, this is why I'm going to keep pressing this point, because we have the patriarchy in so many places, in so many ways, where we have indoctrinated, and even in the women, sometimes the ones that will argue you the biggest and the hardest are other women that want to stay in that misogyny, in that patriarchal bondage. And I'm like, listen, miss me with that, because at the end of the day, I'm not less than anybody. I don't care who you are. I don't care what's slinging and swinging between your legs. I'm not less than you. So at the end of the day, we have to keep talking about it. We have to keep pushing this idea and understanding that there should be equity at all levels. So at the end of the day, they did a whole split screen. The Rebel did a whole split screen so that you couldn't hardly follow what was going on the ladies match, because you had all this disruptive activity on the split screen. So you saw it too, Rebel. You saw it too. So there you go. Mental imaging, aka brainwashing. Come through with that, King Coogee. You said a mouthful. So at the end of the day, that's also how media works to alter the view of any story and to get their perspective and their point out. And you are absolutely correct, King Coogee. And that's why I say you got to pay attention. Pay attention, people. pay attention, because there's a whole lot of stuff that it's about framing. Can I use that word? It's the same concept. It's the same idea. DJ Leo the Great is my brother. He's coming in giving high fives to everybody. Come on in here, my brother, and so much love to you. He is also a streamer. If you're not following him, please, please, please follow DJ Leo the Great. He will bless your whole life. So yes, King Coogee, it's all about the subliminal messaging, and we have to keep calling a spade a spade. You call that pushing a narrative. I got you, King, not your average guy. And the visuals definitely help. So this is how we sculpt, and this is how we shape people's minds and their attitudes toward a particular thing, depending on what they say, how they say it, and the imagery that goes along with it. All of those things are used as powerful tools to shape the way people think, and it can absolutely be brainwashing, King Coogee. So that's why I say pay attention. Don't take everything hook, line, and sinker. Pay attention to who's telling it, why they're telling it. Do they have an agenda? Pay attention to all of that, because listen, you know, I'm gonna use this for an example. You can have no, you didn't sidetrack the convo. This is the way we do it, not your average guy. We just let it organically evolve. So this is the whole idea. Because really, I'm not crazy about talking about President Biden, because as far as I'm concerned, he ain't doing enough, but that's my personal opinion. So at the end of the day, I have issues that the families had to go to this extent, and that they're using their family members as pawns for something political that has nothing to do with their loved ones. I really don't want to spend all my energy on that. So this allows me to talk about something that's near and dear to my heart, and that is diversity, equity, and inclusion. So at the end of the day, when we look at, I'm gonna go to, you know how you have the studies that come out, and okay, say I'm gonna use wine, and I'm just using this for an example only. So please, 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 this is not this. I read this somewhere, and I'm speaking against the wine industry. No, I'm just using this. But they pay their people to do studies that are pro wine, right? And so you come out and you hear 1 ounce of wine will decrease heart conditions, blood pressure, this and that and the other, you know, just names off this whole list of stuff that wine will take care of. Then you got the folks come out against the wine on the other side, and they produce just as many studies, just as many visuals. I mean, everybody, depending on what industry and what story, what narrative they want out there, they tell it according to, come on, Mel came right on in with her goblets. They tell the story according to the narrative that they want to push. So at the end of the day, you're sitting here, do I drink wine? Do I not drink wine? Do I eat beets? Do I not eat beets? You understand what I'm saying? At the end of the day, it's the beets are they're the superpower of healing. Everything can be healed by some beets. 440 shorty, come on in here, sis. So much love coming to you. And then they push that to you in a narrative through verbiage, through visuals, through testimonials. And at the end of the day, it's like, okay, that's exactly how media works to sway us one way or the other. So at the end of the day, I always say, look at who's telling the story. Why are they telling the story? And what do they have to gain by telling the story the way that they're telling it? So pay attention. That's all I'm saying. Just pay attention, because there's a narrative out there for everybody. But when it comes to media, I just really want y'all to pay attention. Now, to get back to the story at hand, because I did digress and I did go down the rabbit hole, because I really did want to talk about the disparity. As Dr. Dady said, she's been traveling and doing this for years. So let's talk about and address why she was doing it for years. And then let's get back to the story. MCP812, good morning to you, sis. So much love coming to you, and I'm so glad that you are here. Come on in the Lion's Den, and nothing but love for you, sis. But I'm gonna always cry loud, spare not. Anytime, you know, as I told you, my dissertation is on liberation theology, but Black liberation theology and womanist liberation theology, because I'm tired of the people being oppressed. You understand the word? I'm tired of the people being oppressed by a system that continues to perpetuate these inequities as if it's okay. It's not okay. And I don't care where it's happening. I don't care what institution is doing it. It needs to stop. And I really do mean that with all of my shondo, with everything that's in my shondo, it needs to stop. So with that, I will say, I really, the stepper is coming soon to Twitch. Well, come on, 440 Shorty, strut your stuff. Come on up in here. When it comes, you let me know and we'll definitely push you. So at the end of the day, we're looking and they're saying at the story, back to the story that's being reported to me this morning, that President Biden is now being pressured by Putin to pay more money. And at the end of the day, this is my thing, y'all. This is my thing. You're telling me that there is a price tag on these people's heads, and they're being used as a means of extorting and squeezing more money out of. No, ma'am, no, sir. No, ma'am, no, sir. So at the end of the day, you know, when I looked at this story and they want to make, and I'm going to read a sentence here, Vladimir Putin, a leader who has few scruples about using civilians to grind out his political goals, quote, end quote. Putin, a leader who has few scruples about using civilians to grind out his political goals. Now, you know, at the end of the day, I'm looking and I'm saying let's not start calling names. Let's not, people that live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. Can I say that? And I know I am a patriotic citizen. I love the country that I'm in. But how many times have we been caught with our hands in the cookie jar? How many times have we assisted coups? How many times have we helped people overthrow a government? How many times have we done things and thrown a rock and hidden our hands and taken down governments and Iran Contra? Do we need to go back? Where's Ollie North? Can he testify? At the end of the day, I feel like when we start talking and trying to, in our media, make everybody sound like they are so egregiously ugly and despots and doing all of this, baby, your stuff stinks too, because there's some things and some places that we have been that we have really much to answer for, and people and countries that we have wounded and we have devastated. So at the end of the day, they're playing politics just like they've been playing for years, but don't make it sound like, oh my God, you know, what they're doing over there, this communist country. You know, at the end of the day, a lot of this political rhetoric, we need to pay attention to that too, because actions speak louder than words. If we're a true democracy and we're standing for democracy, let's start it at home, huh? Let charity begins at home. Democracy begins at home and then spreads abroad. It doesn't spread abroad, then come back home. Then secondly, we do have to give an account for any and all areas that we have done similar things in other places and sometimes worse, and then try to make the other folk look like they are just monsters and ogres when they're doing some of the same stuff that we've been doing the whole time too. So now that I just say we got to pay attention, because listen, Putin ain't the only one out here that's cutting up and acting like the devil. No athlete should ever play in Russia, period. I hear you, Mel. I hear you. And I can't, you know, at the end of the day, well, hey, too many places, Stacey, that we can look back and say America had a hand in this, that we shouldn't have been there. The U.S. might be the dirtiest of the political players and not your average guy. I don't think you're far from the truth there. But we don't want to acknowledge nor accept our part and the role that we play in so many of these undercurrent, undercover, backdoor deals and scenarios that happen, but we all up in the mix. And not only up in the mix, sometimes may have been the initiator, but did it incognito. So, I'm not going to run around here and start calling people names. I just want to say, all of y'all get right, church. Let's go home. So there you go. That's all I'm going to say on that. Remember Gaddafi. Come on here. We can go through and come on, not your average guy. You better bring the truth with you when you come, because there's so many different scenarios where the United States has been dirty and we have gotten our hands just absolutely filthy in these political arenas, and some dastardly things. I mean, just dastardly things have been happening. So, I'm not going to play that self-righteous role that we want to have, because that self-righteousness is as filthy rags. So at the end of the day, I just want y'all pay attention. We got to pay attention. We really, really do. We got to pay attention. And come on here, Cassandra. Roar righteously and air raid roar righteously. Come on in here. The one and only Keisha Key. That is my sunshine. You are my sun. That's my sunshine. Come on in here, sis. So much love coming to you. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. Excuse me. I took my allergy pills this morning, but they still trying to work. My apologies. Now, at the end of the day, I need somebody come in here. I need somebody come in the studio. I need disinfectant. Please disinfect my mic. At the end of the day, we're trying to be fair. I got you, not your average guy. Try to tell people how to run their house, but our house is dirty. And Mel, that's all I'm saying. Don't do it. Don't do it. Do not. Thank you. I appreciate that, Keisha Key. I received that blessing. Do not do it when your own house is dirty. Somebody said it like this: sweep around your own back door before you try to sweep around mine. And that's all I'm saying. Because we still, these same issues of disparity that we've been talking about, these same issues of disparity are still right here in our country. And I still say, how can we go and fight and say that we are really, really, really working? Mike City, Mike City, he's in the house, y'all. He's in the house. Yeah. Come on in here, my brother. He is a streamer, and if you're not following him, please follow Mike City. He will bless your whole life. It's good to see you, my friend. Are you actually awake this morning? Come on in here. I'm so glad that you're awake. So this is what I feel, when I read stories like this, there is something that kind of makes me cringe, because the wording and just like we said about the cutaways in center court on the women's games, but you're going out here to all of these unnamed folk we don't know, and you're giving them screen time, split time, cutaway time. Pay attention. There's something subliminally that's being communicated to us in so many different areas. And it's just the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Y'all know how we do it in here. This is the lion's den. We take this cream. We take this coffee. No cream, no sugar. We take this coffee strong and black, because I tells it like a T-I-Z, tears. Sweet people, sweet around your own energy and everything else. You better talk, Cassandra. You better talk. So come on in here, and that's what I'm talking about. So that was one of the headlines this morning, and it does seem that there is some political pawnship that's going on here with these people's lives. And I just think that is so inappropriate, because at the end of the day, these are people's lives. Don't forget that. So, it's a sad story. So as I look and as I'm checking out, a lot of this is political talk today, so I don't want to get into that. I do want to deal with this good piece right here. This good piece right here. Today is the day, Cheerins. Today is the day that this man right here, he's being sentenced tomorrow. It's Thursday. Okay. So I was thinking it was today. He's being sentenced tomorrow on federal charges in the death of our dear brother. Now, I really hope, I'm not going to lie, I really hope that in the death of George Floyd and the federal charges, I really hope that they make an example out of this man. The same way, yes, cheerings. That's the way we say it over here in the Lions Den. Come on, cheerings. Come on, cheering. Let's sing. Cheerings. So at the end of the day, tomorrow he will be sentenced on the federal charges. Now, I would hope, and I really do, I'm not lying, I hope that they just really do him and set this as a precedent. However, I got a feeling, I hope they make an example of him. I do, the one and only Keisha Key. I hope they're going to make an example of him. But I got to put him in the gin pop. I see you, Mel. And then don't pick up the soap. Listen, he ain't going nowhere because he still represents the Rebel Inc. He still represents a lot of white nationalism that loves exactly what he did. And I'm gonna say it again. I watched a documentary. Y'all know I when I get time and I sit down and I'm still sometimes during the night, I just sit down and I watch documentaries and I love them. I just love them. And I just always like to see things as they are and those up close and behind the scenes personal kind of clips, actual footage that you can see, actual footage that you can watch, and not the narrative that we're being told. And I tell you, I sit so many times and I just shake my head at how many people love this kind of white nationalism. Now, I'm gonna go here for just a second. Did y'all see when Roe versus Wade was overturned? And I didn't talk about this the other day, but did you all see when the woman that is running a campaign got up and was with Trump behind her, and she made a comment, something to the effect of, "Thank you for bringing white back to us again," or something like that. Do y'all know what I'm talking about? If y'all got the exact quote, put it in the chat. I looked at that woman and I said, she said, what? Thank you for, it's a win for white life. Thank you. I knew somebody would know where I was going. It's a win for white life. Did y'all hear? This woman stood at the podium. Yes, she did. And then she clapped for herself. You know, I'm gonna tell you, because I see it all the time. But y'all, you know, I got a different home training than y'all. I was taught, my parents told me, listen, you don't clap for yourself, you let other people clap for you. But I see it all the time. Folk be, and they call their name, they start clapping for themselves. She sure did, Rebel. She sure did. She said it's a win for white life. Now, and I'm tying this to this story about Chauvin, because Chauvin, whatever he pronounces his name, at the end of the day, this white nationalism that they are loving, he is just a hero in their eyes. So I don't know what's going to happen with his sentencing. What had happened was white nationalists are eating this stuff up. Do you understand the words that are coming to mind? When that woman stood there and said, it's a win for white life. Did you hear the words that coming out? That woman said in public, over the public address, this is a win for white life. No. She sure did, Rebel. She sure did. Now let's do. So at the end of the day, let's unpack that statement. 60% of the people that get abortions are white women. Come on in here. It's a rage, y'all. It's a rage. You better ask somebody.
Big Moochie, baby. Hey, right now, this is going out to the entire set, man. This is going out to the whole entire set. In my
no wonder. Come on in the Lions Den, sis. Come on in the Lions Den with that solo rage. Yes, miracles, signs, and wonders. And just raided the room in a solo rage. Please that Ray LaWanda Baskerville, please refresh your screen and welcome to the Lion's Den. Mel, we just slap the heck out of Karen. That woman stood there and said this is a win for white life. So let's unpack that. 60%. Now, they're not the only ones impacted by it. Just like so many other things I talk about, it's not just one group. There are many that are impacted. And come on, T. Jones, good morning to you. Come on in here. Good to see. One reason the Bishop of Twitch is here. Come on in here. And I know you're not really here, but come on in here. And listen, I'm going to tell everybody in the Lion's Den, a lot of times when Bishop comes on, I'm prepping my studio to come on stream. But if you're free in the mornings and before you come to the Lion's Den, please go to One Reason. He has a stream that is second to none. He will bless your whole life. That's my brother. That's my bishop. I appreciate you for being in here, One Reason. If you're not following him, I need you to quit your wicked ways. I do. I need you to quit your wicked ways and go out there and follow my brother. So if you're up early like I am, because I wake up real bright and early in the morning, go over there and support my brother before you come to the Lion's Den, because we all in this together. T. Jones, now here we had, and she had the nerve to say she was not trying to say that. Now, did you see when she said it? It's a win for white life. She clapped for herself. That's how much she liked what she said. Teresa, at the end of the day, listen.
Why you always lying?
Quit lying. You said what you said and you meant what you said, because at the end of the day, she had every opportunity to correct herself and retract that statement. She said what she said. She did it. She said it. Yes, she did. So at the end of the day, quit trying to lie. Quit trying to, we ain't buying what you selling.
Why you always lying?
So at the end of the day, this white nationalism that they have been pumping and pushing and priming. I watched a video, I watched a documentary of this young lady. She knew what she said. She knew exactly what she said, Stacy 546. So at the end of the day, you know, this is the area where, and they're getting them younger and younger. So please, please, please don't think that this is going to die off and just go away and fade into the woodwork. They're indoctrinating these little kids. And that's why you see these little kids coming out with these assault rifles, killing up a bunch of folk. So let's unpack what she said. What she said, with 60% of white women being those that are getting the abortion, the reason why it's a win for white people, this fear that white people have that they're about to become extinct. Okay, let me put a plug in it right there, and let me deal with this story. If you all have not seen it, the doctor that went out and impregnated all of these women with his own sperm. Now, there's a documentary that shows that particular doctor, but the truth be told, they found out there were numbers of fertility doctors. Yes, Dr. Dady, it's dastardly. It's just dastardly. I'm telling you, if you watch that movie, every time that man turned around, there were more babies popping up that were his. It was just nasty. You got women in the room that are waiting for insemination from their husbands, so they thought. And this man is going in the room, getting his jollies, getting his sperm, and while he's still under the influence of his own tinkering and tankering with his swinging and winging, he comes back in there and inseminated those women with his nasty stuff. And he's still, now can you imagine, while he's putting it in, he's still coming down from his own natural high. And they found, oh, it was nasty, Rebel. It's nasty. And they found found out he was not the only fertility doctor that's been doing this. And they had this whole little organization with this idea that white people are about to become extinct. And they're out here populating the people as fertility doctors with their own nasty. That's just, listen, that's beyond nasty. Could it be? The devil? Baby, that ain't nothing but this old slimy, nasty slewfoot devil. You understand the words coming out of my mouth. Slewfoot in all his slewfootedness. Yo, nasty sperm that you done went in that back room and played with yourself and come out with your nasty stuff and then took it and put it in unsuspecting women and impregnated them so you could have some more white children. Ooh, that replacement theory mess, SK8843. That replacement theory, yes, they came out swinging and winging, Jonna. They came out swinging and winging after they've been choking and poking. You understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Choking and poking. So at the end of the day, and it's been going on for years, Teresa. It's been going on for years. That's nasty. Now, I don't care what nobody said. That's nasty. You know how I do it. This is the lion's den. No cream, no sugar. We take this coffee strong and black because I tells it like it T-I-Z-tis. These are doctors that have been to medical school, that have medical degrees and are practicing medicine, that are all caught up with this replacement theory that you going in here and carrying on and come back with your stuff, inseminating all these women with your nasty junk. No, sir. No. That's nasty. That's nasty. That's just nasty. That's nasty. That's nasty. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Because if you didn't know, you're in the lion's den. Yes, UO Cubed. We take this coffee strong and black, no cream, no sugar. We take this coffee and we take it strong and black and tells it like it T-I-Z-tis. That's nasty. And this is the thing I want us to understand. At the end of the day, by the time we look at, these are the doctors, these are the attorneys, these are the people in positions in power, and these are these nasty. I said, baby, that's nasty. Woo! Y'all ain't buying what I'm selling. So, I look at this and this whole concept of replacement theory that has now just taken them over. I want you to be clear on why she said it's a win for white lives. Because with 60% of the white women making up the population of those that are getting abortions, they see every white life, every white baby lost as another nail in the coffin. Do you understand the struggle? Do you understand the mentality? Do you understand the mindset that they're in right now? This is why they're spending the energy for no abortions and outlining that process, is because at the end of the day, they want to see more white babies. And if 60% of the people that are getting abortions and aborting their pregnancies are white women, that ought to tell you something. If 60% are white women, they feel like if you are in a position where you cannot get one, we gonna birth another white baby up in here. And please, 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 it's your job and your responsibility to help us stop this replacement theory and all of this that we see happening in this here world where we're about to become extinct. Sit down somewhere. That's insanity. So at the end of the day, y'all, I'm just trying to tell you, this is why she feels like it's a win for white life, because this replacement theory says if we just can stop these white women that make up 60%, because they don't care nothing about your black children. Let me tell you that. White nationalism cares nothing about your black children, your brown children, or your others. I said what I said. This is Yes You O Cubed, one-on-one, just me and you. And I am your spiritual thought leader, Regina L. Stillman. And you know how we do it in here. No cream, no sugar. We take this coffee strong and black, because I tells it like it T-I-Z, tis. And I don't just throw shade, I shed light. So at the end of the day, Real Confessions, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Eating all the pork. You had to be in the Rebel Ink stream on yesterday to understand that one. Eating all the pork. When they going to understand they never be extinct because we may. At the end of the day, you know, 440 Shorty, it's sad that you have that kind of fear and that kind of anxiety in your heart. It's really sad. And I think, too, you also have to address the fact that there's a fear that there's going to potentially come an uprising of all of the people that they have mistreated, abused, and used. I think there's a fear that there's going to be an uprising and they're going to get killed off. The way they have treated people for centuries, I do believe there's a fear, not just that they're going to get outnumbered by birth. I think there's a fear that they're going to get killed off, which is why they keep getting these assault weapons. I saw something and they said the one area of, I want to say Wisconsin, the average gun per home is like 8 to 9 guns per home. Why do you need that many guns? Y'all ain't ready for me. So at the end of the day, if you ask that boy how many infertility doctors there are and can find out how many did that, it's scary, Stacy. When y'all go out there, is that, tell me if you remember the name of that documentary, The Rebel Ink, because we talked about it the other day. I think it was Michelle Brownell gave us that link. If y'all get a chance to go, because that story is just dastardly, y'all. This man, and when they came up with the number of doctors, Stacy, the other fertility, and I'm going to put emphasis on doctors because these are people that are educated. These are truck driver said, I have 6 guns. Oh my God, I'm cracking up. So at the end of the day, listen, they don't care about once they're born, baby, just let them, they could care less once they're born. They just want to get them here. So at the end of the day, you know, I'm looking and I'm checking. Our Father was that the name? Our Father on Netflix. If y'all want to go out there and watch that video, that documentary, it's enough to churn and turn your stomach. And that man had no remorse. And then this is the thing, and this is why I talk about, come on, main man, I see you lurking. So much love to you this morning. Come on in the Lion's Den. We love you. It's called Our Father on Netflix. This man had no remorse, none whatsoever, none. When I say none, I mean none with his nasty tail. Just too much. It's too much. It's too much. And when they came back and identified the number of fertility doctors that were out there doing this same thing, and he was a pasty old nasty man. He really was, Rebel. He was. And at the end of the day, every time you turned around, he wanted to quote scripture. That's why I said there are a lot of these people that are out here in these religious church right, and they're just as crazy as a bed bug. And every time you turn around, you want to talk about Jesus said and da-da-da-da-da and the Bible said. Sit down. Miss me with that. Miss me with that. Please do. Miss me with that. So at the end of the day, This is what we have to deal with in the white nationalism. Now, there's another one out there that I watched where this young white woman was involved. Y'all remember when the KKK was marching, and then they went to I can't remember the name of the town. Was it Charlottesville, where they went and ran down the people and killed them. And at the end of the day, I think she really tried to come clean because her hands were dirty. And so she did a documentary, and she talks about how they are meeting in droves. And I just listened to her talk and the Jewish hatred that they spewed. And oh my God, it was just so ugly. And I looked at it and I thought to myself, this is what's going on in all of these recesses and these little areas and corner pockets where, and they said, and if you remember when David Duke came out and was praising Trump 45, and they said that they wanted white nationalism to come back to the fore to save this country. Otherwise, they would never see another Republican in office again. And then here comes their savior, 45. And they supported him to the hilt and are still supporting him. All based by white nationalism. So, and I'm just calling a spade. So at the end of the day, people twist or misinterpret the Bible to fit their agenda all of the time. And you said a mouthful, and the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God, not your average guy. That is the truth. So at the end of the day, I just want to bring this to our attention because I don't know that this brother is going to get what he deserves, which is to, in my opinion, be made an example of. I feel like he needs to be made an example of, but I'm interested to see what they're going to do with him because it will also speak to the attitude that is permeating and prevailing in this country right now in the justice system. Now, what's out there in the streets is one whole other area, but in the justice system, what is the law going to do? I'm interested to know that. What is the law going to do with this man? So he has a hearing on tomorrow, and I hope that they're going. That sickness is it's wickedness in high places, Cassandra, because these folks are crazy. There's another one where the women pay him to have his kids, and he's in many of their kids' lives because he is smart. At the end of the day, that's some insanity to me. Y'all out here doing some crazy stuff. That's some real crazy. That's cray to me. So at the end of the day, Derek Chauvin will be tried on his federal charges, on the federal. Woman Unsilenced, good morning to you, Queen. This is a phenomenal streamer, y'all. I want you all to follow her. I believe that she has a stream tonight. That I want you all to go out there and check her out. Put your time in there, Woman Unsilenced, and any other streamers, put your times in. I always forget to do that, not because I don't love you guys and care about you and I want to support you. I just get to talking and forget. So, y'all help me. So please, Woman Unsilenced, give me that time. I believe that's tonight that you're coming on with that stream. Please go out there and support her. Please go watch her. She has very, very, very good streams that are life-changing. And I want you all to support her in her endeavors. 7:30 p.m. tonight, Eastern Standard Time. 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please go support my sister. She will bless your whole life. I promise you. And she's got a lot to give. She's got a lot to offer. She's got a lot to say. She's got a lot of experience. Come on. I just love her. I love her. I do. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to catch this. Let me see. I don't want to miss anybody here. Truck driver. Don't they know that black is the base of all colors? Oh, truck driver. And something in me, and I'm gonna really come here and not to be offensive at all. Something in me feels like there's almost the whole misogyny thing. There's a hatred toward where you came from, because listen, Mother Africa birthed all of it. So you hate your mama. You hate your mama that much. Do you really hate your mother that much? And it seemed like they just cannot listen. Whatever they feel Mama Africa did to them, baby, I'm trying to tell you, there's an insanity that's driving that, baby. There's an insanity that's driving that. And at the end of it all, it's amazing to me. It's absolutely amazing to me. Tall Pumps is pumping tall. Come on in here, sis. So much love to you. So much love to you. Come on in here with that boss energy. We love you. Now, so at the end of the day, yes, and I'm gonna leave it at that because it seems that it is what it is. It's sad. We're starting to hear the individual stories of those that were killed at the massacre, the mass shooting on the 4th of July. And it's really heart-wrenching. It's really sad. But again, a lot of this is being driven right now by white nationalism. And these young men, unfortunately, they are being hailed and lauded as heroes. And so they're trying to go out here and show themselves worthy and get the accolades and it's really sad and it's twisted and it's contorted and twisted. It's crazy. But at the end of the day, I'm telling you, it's really sad. And as they're pulling out more and more stories, I just don't know. This picture right here, there's a whole story to it, but I'm going to use this picture right here and not necessarily pull out the whole story. It's sickening, Stacey. It's really sickening. And how you can poison the minds of these children and feel like it's okay, that's amazing to me. But I'm going to go back to slavery days when you had black men and women hanging from a tree that you had tarred and feathered, cut off their genitalia, cut off body parts, done all of these things to mutilate the body. And you're sitting there having a picnic with your children, eating and pointing and taking photographs to put on postcards and sending them in the mail. And that's crazy. And at the end of the day, it's like, who would do that? Who in their right mind would do that with your children present? But the whole idea there was to indoctrinate the children to the idea and to normalize it. And when you normalize something, Stacey, I just, how do you work to back that kind of mentality and attitude out of people's minds when this is your mama them and your grandpa and your grandma them sitting you down and showing this to you as if it's okay? That's some insanity. And then to take this to the next level, and I did watch where they are recruiting younger and younger individuals, almost like they're evangelizing and trying to get younger and younger people and indoctrinate them to this mindset and to this ideology. It's really sad. It's really, why would you do that to your child? Why? But sick minds don't think it's sick. You understand? Sick minds think it's normal when it's just as abnormal could be. But I agree with you. It is sickening. And I definitely would not have my child. I would not have my child caught up in the midst of that. That's some insanity. You're tired of all these mass murderers being incarcerated and unarmed brothers being murdered, 90 shots fired. I got you with that. And let me come here with this screen share, this portrait right here that someone made for the 4th of July. And at the end of the day, it speaks volumes. It speaks volumes. And this is a sin of continued sin of America that's going to have to be addressed. So many times we want to make it sound and seem as if it's a thing of the past. It absolutely, positively is not. I hope you all get the full inference of that picture right there. While y'all want to talk about this esteemed, awesome brother and the author of the Constitution and blah, 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 there in his back pocket was his black black mistress that he was happy to use and abuse whenever he had an opportunity. And this was not uncommon to our framers of the Constitution, amongst many, many, M-A-N-Y, many of them. This picture would be apropos to their mindset, their behavior, what they espouse to, and yet and still nobody wants to acknowledge that this has been a mindset, an attitude, and a behavior of this country for a long while. So I love this. I thought it spoke volumes. I wanted to share it. It's a beautiful picture, but it's so much more. There's more depth to that than just the beauty of the artist that painted it. The message is right there. The message is right there. Come on, We Are, babe. Come on in here. This is my sis and my friend. So much love coming to you. Welcome to the Lion's Den this morning. And I'm going to let that just marinate on that for a minute. Just marinate on this picture for a minute. And I thought this is a beautiful picture for the 4th of July. This is a beautiful depiction for the 4th of July. And I'm going to say it again. There's my girl. We Are, babe. Come on in here. The depiction takes us back to what Frederick Douglass so appropriately said. Yes, I said message as in messaging. Yes, as in messaging. It's sending a message. There is, if we talk about a picture can say 1,000 words, that picture right there is saying 1,000 words that America does not want to deal with, that America does not want to acknowledge. And I'm going to say this, and some of y'all may be mad at me for this, but I'm going to go back to Judge Hatchett on yesterday. We talked about that extensively on yesterday. Judge Hatchett and what she experienced when that sheriff, in front of all of those other sheriffs, stuck his hand down her shirt and grabbed and groped her breasts in front of God and everybody, and felt like he was entitled to do so. And the other onlookers said and did nothing, with the exception of the date that invited her there. The essence of what Judge Hatchett experienced was the message of this picture right here, and it's still in full effect today. You better ask somebody. It has been carried over from our past for far too many generations. It is time for new iterations in this nation today, now, right away. And that picture is saying billions of words right there. Billions of words that got this woman standing up talking about it's a win for white people. Billions that don't want to deal with this picture, that still are out here as white nationalists. And even those that want to be a little more covert with it. I'm not as extreme. And I even as I listened to the young lady say, I didn't consider myself an extremist Nazi. I just believed that we needed to assert ourselves in our white nationalism. But y'all out here running down folks with your cars that are peacefully protesting, that you organized, that you were a key organizer, but somehow in your mind, you don't see yourself as bad as a Nazi. But your white nationalism is just about acknowledging and appreciating your heritage. Is that the lie that you're telling yourself? Is that really the lie that you're telling yourself?
Why you always lying?
That you're not as extreme as these other people? You just want to appreciate your heritage, but you're running down people in the streets? You're telling people to arm themselves and shoot up and kill as many Jews and black peoples and gays as you can find? No, ma'am, no, sir. You're lying to yourself so that you don't become an extinct race. No, ma'am, no, sir. So this picture right here, I love the messaging of it. I love it. I love it. I love it because to me, there is a tremendous amount of truth right here. Now let's deal with this. We must be the change that we want to see. Let's deal with this. Let's deal with this. And this is true. Many of these beloved fathers of the Constitution had secret walls that had secret rooms behind them where the black women stayed right off from their bedroom. Did you understand the words that's coming out of my mouth? I said what I said, and it's the truth anyhow. Many of these beautiful white fathers of the Constitution had secret rooms and secret doors right off attached and adjoining to their bedrooms where they could go right over there, push the door and go right on in and start choking and poking. So at the end of the day, this picture says so much that we don't want to deal with in our mindset and ideology that unfortunately still is entrenching so much of our society and is an undercurrent. It's an undercurrent that's there. It's an undercurrent as to why Karens get so mad at black people and especially black women. Why are Karens so mad? Because right on the other side of that secret wall and that secret room and that secret passageway, the darker the better, the berry, the sweeter the juice, and he's getting juiced up on a regular. Matter of fact, he'd rather have the juice over there than what he's getting over here. Pasty ain't tasty for him no more. He wants that blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. So at the end of the day, this creates a whole frenetic idea and attitude one toward the other that as long as we don't address it and identify, the undercurrent and the undertow is still there. It has not gone anywhere, and the animosity and the angst just continues to grow, and it continues to get farther and farther out of control. And then what do we end up with? We end up with the young man and young black men that are out here getting shot up and killed and murdered like dogs in the street. Because listen, at the end of the day, I don't want us to forget by any level, at any way, this young man, 25 years old, that was shot at 90 times, 60 of which hit their mark. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? 60 bullets hit this young man. 60 bullets hit this young man's body. I don't want us to lose sight of that. How it is when we talk about why all of this is the way that it is in our current world, because we have this undertow and this undercurrent that we refuse to acknowledge, that we make excuses for and talk all around, but we don't want to deal with the truth. And that's why we want critical race theory erased. That's why we don't want to talk about slavery. That's why we don't want to talk about the things of the past that really happened. It wasn't no made up make-believe world fairy tale that blew in here from the wonderful world of Disney. This stuff happened, and it's still happening. Do y'all understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? We got to deal with these areas, and we've got to have some come to Jesus conversations so that we can continue to understand that's how you can shoot 60 bullets into somebody's body and feel nothing. 60. And then have a police chief come out and say, listen, they were within the realm of their training. Well, they're training the officers to kill black men and black boys, while you get murderers who are white nationalists that are always taken without incident. I'm just saying, listen, 440 Shorty told me to hydrate. I'm gonna hydrate. Lord, please turn this water into wine. Did I say something? I did. Because this undercurrent that nobody wants to go back. Well, that's in our past. No, ma'am, no, sir. It's current and it's present right now. Right, not now, but right now. It's present and alive right now. That would make somebody get up and say, we had a win for white lives. No. Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? And they're not ready to talk about it, babe, how the wives turn their anger regarding their husband's infidelity on those very women and children. This is why our children are not seen as children. Can we talk about that? Can we talk? Huh? Is that what Joan Rivers said? Can we talk? Can we? Can we talk? Because we gotta stop beating around the bush. We gotta stop going in this merry-go-round. We got to talk about some real stuff. And yes, we are, babe. They like to use that B word, that these are bastard babies. That's a bastard child. That's a baby. Why are you mad at the baby? Get mad at him for going over here every time you turn around at every nook, cranny, and corner, pushing on that wall to go into that secret room to get him some juice. I said what I said. Good morning, Barbara Hardy. Come on in here. That's my sister this morning. Come on in here. Come on in here. So much love coming to you. So listen, this is, at the end of the day, these are conversations that we want to just glide over. And we want to keep saying, oh, you know, that was back in the day. No. And the effects of it are still wreaking havoc on black people because folks don't want to deal with the reality. And I'm going to put that picture up again because I love that picture. It's a beautiful picture, and it's the real deal, y'all. It's the real deal. This, to me, is a lot of the issue that we have and will continue to have until we can have this here narrative. And this whole falsity that has been propagated that black men and black boys want to come and attack your wives. When the reverse is true, y'all out here attacking these black men and these young black boys. You're out here attacking their wives and their sisters. But then you want to clutch pearls like somebody's. Ain't nobody after you, baby. Ain't nobody after you. Ain't nobody. Ain't nobody after you, baby. Take him, keep him. You can have him. Because many of this that's happening is being taken by force. Understand that if you would. Judge Hatchett didn't ask that man to put his hand down her shirt and snatch her breast. She didn't want it, baby. She didn't want it. Am I talking to anybody? We need to have this conversation. Because what this picture is depicting right here is one of, it ain't the only one, but it's one of the elements. It's one of the basic elements that has created the angst and the anger against black bodies, especially black women in this here patriarchal, white dominated society. We need to have a conversation about what this message is saying in this picture right here. Because this picture right here got folks heated and upset on both sides. They know what it is. We just keep putting perfume on the pig. We are, babe. And we don't want a woman to get an abortion because hers come. And listen, at the end of the day, like I said, Tall Pumps, before you got here, 60% of the people getting abortions are white females. They see that in this replacement theory concept that they have as them losing the race because they think and fear they're going to be extinct anyway. They surely don't want these white women to keep going out here getting abortions. Good morning, DJ Aurora Onyx Heart. Come on in here, my sis. There's my sister. So much love to you. So much love coming to you. And I appreciate you for coming. Come on. Too many folks don't know what I'm talking about, Joan. Joan is, I'm too old. I'm showing my age. Can we talk? Come on, truck driver. I'm talking. So this is the thing. We've got to start dealing with some realities here and stop playing this game. But the thing is, we don't have the conversations because people don't know the truth. You're not being taught these truths in history in school. You don't touch on none of this in high school when you start talking about history. You're not touching on this. You're not hearing about any of these areas that they don't want to rehash. This is information, because at the end of the day, if you don't know your history, you're doomed and bound to repeat it. And if you look at where we are right now today in 2022, even with what the Supreme Court is doing in the courts, they are turning back the hands of time to the days predating the Confederacy. And I don't care what nobody says, I'm not going back. I don't care what laws you change. I don't care what people you vote in. I don't care how dominant they be. I'm not going back. How about that? I'm not going back. You can turn all of them laws back if you want to. They're all unjust laws. Being mad at someone that had no control over the situation is like taking poison and waiting for the other person to die, Stacy. Come through with that. At the end of the day, this replacement theory idea is totally ludicrous, but they believe it, not your average guy. There's some folk that, honey, they hang their hat on it. They wake up in the morning, think about it. They think about it all day long. They think about it when they go to bed, while they're laying on their bed. They think. There are people that are literally obsessed with this replacement theory, and it has driven them mad, literally. They're crazy. They have lost their minds. So at the end of the day, it's something that we've got to really have a conversation about. We need some critical race history for the childrens. The children have to know the truth. The truth will come out. The children have to know the truth. Come on in here, Mildred. I see you, my sister. So much love coming to you. I love you. Thank you. Come on in the Lion's Den. White babies will supposedly prevent them losing the majority, and babies of color keep the racist systems paying them dividends. Come on, now you broke that. Now let's take that a piece at a time. Let's get one half, and then let's get the other half. She said what she said, and if you didn't hear what she said, I'm gonna repeat it to you once more and again. The white babies are supposedly to prevent them from losing the majority, and the black babies multiplying are going to keep their racist system paying them dividends, because this complex system, the prison complex system that they have created, that is the new slavery and has been ever since they came up with the 13th. It's a concept that allows us to get slaves back again, free labor, and we call it prison. And we just keep right on funding it. Am I talking? Come on, we are, babe. You preaching up in here. I'm going to say it once more and again for the people in the back. This whole issue is to keep white babies that will supposedly prevent them, talking about the white nationalists and white nationalism, losing the majority, and it will keep babies of color in this racist system paying them dividends. It will backfire. Come on here, we are, babe. It's going to backfire because there is still so much they don't know about the black community. And I'm going to say this, and I want to say this, and I'm going to say this in all truthfulness. This is the place where and you know, I'm gonna just call a spade because this is the place where black people as slaves had to learn and know everything about the white people, but the white people didn't know anything about the black people. And if you really be truthful, if all abortions are stopped, what is the real net effect? I got you, not your average guy. If we really be truthful about it, and yes, boss, yeah, we's tired, boss. Yes, we tired, we's tired, boss. We's tired, boss. We's tired. If you really think about it, black people have been very industrious in learning how to play the nut role when we ain't nuts. I said what I said. Black folks have learned how to play the nut role when we are not nuts. But it's necessary to play that role for the power structure in certain times, in certain places. But I said what I said. We knew everything about them. We knew what time white folks got up. We knew what time white folks went to bed. We knew what white folks ate because we fixed it. We knew what colors they liked. We knew everything about white people that there was to know. But they didn't know nothing about us. And because we was animals to them. So at the end of the day, and I'm going to say that with the addition that I do believe this is some of the fear that they're operating from as well. And I'm talking about white nationalists, not just white people, but this white nationalist mentality that knows nothing about black people, knows nothing about how black people think, feel, respond, react, because they are totally detached. They are totally removed. Lisa Jones, thank you for liking the stream. And at the end of the day, there were times that we's tired, boss, outsmarted them, and they had no clue that they were being outsmarted. And ain't nothing changed. I said what I said. This is Yes You O Cubed, one-on-one, just me and you. And I am your spiritual thought leader. Listen, and listen, I'm going to say this, and I'm going to use the old Negro spiritual to get up out of here. I'm going to use the old, honey, they began to code switch, and that's exactly where I was going. And it's always backfired, Mildred. It's always backfired. Ain't nothing smarter than country dumb. And come on here, one reason. Ain't nothing smarter than country dumb. Because listen, country dumb, and we getting ready to get up out of here because it's 9 o'clock. Country dumb say, I got shoes. You got shoes. All of God's children got shoes. But then we look up at Master's house. We look up at the Master's quarters, and we say, but when we get to heaven, I'm going to put on my shoes and walk all over God's heaven. Everybody talking about heaven. But look on up at Master's house and say, but everybody talking about heaven surely ain't going there, heaven. And we talking about Master the whole time because we know good and well while we out there singing and clapping. We out there singing and clapping. Heaven, yeah. Everybody talking about heaven. Hey, everybody talking about surely ain't going there, heaven. And we looking right up at Master's house knowing they going straight to hell. Y'all ain't ready for me. So at the end of the day, we've been talking code. We've been singing code. We've been acting code. We've been walking code. We've been living code this whole time. And the folks have no idea what we're talking about. And that has been our survival. And so as we come, code switch is working. Code switch is powerful. And code switch is going to continue as long as we continue to have this racist country. Thank Thank you for that gifted sub to We Are Babe. Thank you so much for gifting that to Den Darn. And Den Darn, welcome to the Lions family. Welcome to the Lions Den. So they know as they continue to throw white women at black men as kryptonite. Pay attention. I see you, top pumps. That is true because your uncle played nut until he died, and he had plenty. He got plenty from the white man he worked for. And that's all I'm saying, truck driver. We've been doing that down through the years because that's what we had to do. That's what we had to do. And so we had to create a system whereby we could survive and in some instances start to thrive. But as one reason said, Code Switch has worked for us. And it's going to continue to work for us. But in the meantime, we still got to have some come to Jesus moments and some come to Jesus conversations. And we really got to deal. What had happened was they was dipping over in that blackberry juice. And somebody got mad. Well, it's been another edition of Yes You OQ. I feel for my brother and I feel for my sister. This has been another edition of Yes You OQ. One-on-one, just me and you. I am your spiritual thought leader, Regina L. Stillman, and it's been another glorious day just to have conversation with you all up here in the Lion's Den. Now listen, I'm out here, y'all. I'm out here, and you can follow me. I'm everywhere. I'm on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Patreon, Discord, and more. I appreciate those of you that are checking in from LinkedIn. I appreciate you, and those that have started checking in from Twitter. I appreciate you as well. We're going to just keep going and growing, and I appreciate you for your support. Now listen, this is our mantra. We don't have a spirit of intimidation. We don't have a spirit of fear. We have power. We have love. We have a sound mind. And I am all powerful in love. When I'm operating in love, baby, you can't shut me down. I got boss energy. And at the end of the day, I'm not just talking about change. I am the change. Be the change. And you're not in this alone. This pride, Pride, this Pride Alliance is relentless. And you're going to hear us roar. And it's us, you, me, we, all, because we're all in this thing together. Anybody that wants to work together in love, we support and unite one with the other. Now look at here. This is what I want you to do. I appreciate this is not the den of iniquity, but the den of activity. And it's strong up in here. So the Lion support, I appreciate my moderators, the Rebel Inc. I appreciate Michelle Browno. I appreciate Shelly Thunder. Those are my girls. Love you so much. And thank you for the subscription, Den Darn. And thank you so much for the gifted sub, We Are Babe. And then LaWanda Baskerville. Miracles, signs, and wonders came through with that single solo raid, and I appreciate you, sis. Now check this out, y'all. We're gonna go bless another location on today, and I want you to copy that raid message and ride this ride over with us if you will. Now check the listen, not your average guy. So much love and peace to you, my brother. I love having you in here. Cassandra, dreams and visions, peace and love for the journey. The only Keisha Key. We're gonna have a wonderful day, as Shelly Thunder says when she's in here. Have an amazing day on purpose. And you know how we go. Peace for your journey.
I feel for my brother. I miss you, man. Oh, I feel for my brother. You're my brother.